Willkommen to the trainer closet where trainer secrets are revealed and tested. Individual result may vary depending on your genome and your microbiome and whatever else you do. Now, I'm really excited about today's topic, intermittent fasting, because it's a very controversial and very heavily debated topic right now. So, Mike, what is your definition of intermittent fasting?
Intermittent fasting seems to be like the trending topic in the field right now.
Yes.
Everybody's talking about intermittent fasting, and people's doctors, like some of my clients are coming to me saying their doctor mentioned intermittent fasting. So there's a lot of buzz around intermittent fasting right now. But before we get there, Arrest.
What is it?
Nice haircut.
Oh, well, thank you. So
You needed it.
I did totally need it. Although I have to say, anyways, Mike, go ahead.
You look great.
Yeah,
okay.
no, thank you.
So intermittent fasting, the definition is taking a period of time and not eating. So that period of time could be 12 hours, could be 24 hours, or it could be longer.
I do that already. When I go to bed, I don't eat. So like for those 8 hours, I'm fasting. Is that what you say is an intermittent fasting?
Exactly. Everybody kind of has a fast built into their daily circadian rhythm. Because if you sleep 6 to 8 hours per night, that's 6 or 8 hours that you're not eating.
Right.
And ideally, I shouldn't say ideally, but if you could take a 12-hour fast every night, I think that's what you're doing currently.
Right. I mean, actually, I try to elongate it to like more 14 hours or something. The reason for that is basically that is the only fast that makes sense to me. And it makes sense because if I think about our ancestors, they did not have a cabinet full of different choices to eat in the morning. They would have to go, first they would have to wake up, and they would have to go down to the water, get some water, make the fire, do a lot of things before they actually could sit down and eat. Maybe make sure that nobody is attacking them either. So, because of that, I think that makes a lot of sense. And also what makes a lot of sense to me is, again, there's one little thing that happens in the intestines when you're a little hungry and you growl. That's growling feeling. It's basically your little fingerling things that are in your intestines to make the surface area of your intestines larger. They kind of start moving around and kind of shake off all the stuff that normally gets stuck on them. And eventually that's kind of a cleansing process. And if you have, like, let's say, if you, again, have like a microbe or something that, could cause cancer and you get rid of it, it's better than if it stays for a longer period of time. So, like, unwanted guests, get out.
Get out. See you later. Yeah, basically what intermittent fasting does is it teaches your body how to clean itself out. It doesn't teach it how to clean itself out. Your body knows how to clean itself out.
And it's doing it all the time. The only thing I think, what I say is like it's almost like a pause button.
It's a pause button because it makes your body have to switch its energy towards cleaning itself out. And therefore it gets better and better at cleaning itself out, right?
Yeah, I'm not like necessarily buying the whole thing about cleaning itself out. It definitely has a switch on the energy sources, and so like you're going more into the stored stuff.
Yep.
So like again, it's similar to, I would say, like if I have a can of whatever sugar that is 50 years old, right? It's probably not looking great or whatever, and I think that's kind of similar to that too. Like if I get rid of it, and then put a new one in, that probably is much healthier and better.
In the realm of longevity, a lot of research with intermittent fasting is saying that intermittent fasting has a direct tie to longevity. Yes. And they believe that it's because of what you just explained, that your body's cells actually have to clean themselves out. And as you get older and older, that process becomes less and less efficient. But by including some intermittent fasting throughout your lifetime, your body maintains the ability to clean itself out on a cellular level. And in doing so, you then clean out waste products that could potentially have led to life-altering, life-threatening diseases. So it seems like in the realm of longevity, intermittent fasting is something that will absolutely increase your life.
And it also teaches your body kind of to, be, I would almost say, like, more aware of when you are hungry and when not.
I'm happy you said that because I'm working in one 24-hour intermittent fast day per week, mostly because I want to see what it feels like. Also, I'm trying to lose a little bit of body fat. So if that helps me lose body fat, great. And I've listened to a podcast, and on the podcast it said that when you intermittent fast, insulin goes down and growth hormone goes up. So immediately I think to myself, if growth hormone goes up, that's going to help me gain muscle. But that doesn't necessarily take into consideration all the other hormonal responses that intermittent fasting is doing. but maybe that little bit of growth hormone will help me gain muscle, so I'm giving it a shot.
Well, I mean, like I'm not, as I say, I'm not necessarily 100% on the scientific part of it, but this is exactly a very good example of a lot of times when people try to get their home run, so to speak, they're just looking at one specific thing off the panel, right? And I think in this specific case, especially if it would talk, the growing part is an anabolic state, right? So, and it has a lot of, hormonal responses to it, right? And if you just look at the, I assume that they look at the insulin-like growth hormone, that has is of course influenced by your insulin level, and therefore, if it drops, then probably has a better chance to come out. And there's a certain part about that too. It's like, and it again goes back to the ancestry type thing. It's like what they said on that specific podcast was also like that made sense to me. It's like if you would stop eating and you would become lethargic and never be able to hunt again or get somebody else, to do anything about your starvation part. So like it makes sense to me that you not completely lose energy.
That's the one thing that surprises people, because people think that when you don't eat, you're going to crash. Yes. But actually, because of what you just said, evolutionarily, you have a sympathetic nervous system response when you're fasting. And so you actually become a little bit more alert and you become a little bit energized. And the reason being is because if you were starving in the woods back in the day, you would need that energy to go on a hunt. And now executives in Silicon Valley I've read about are using intermittent fasting to increase their alertness and to get rid of their brain fog, because if the blood's not all rushing to your stomach to digest food, in theory, there's more blood and more oxygenated blood for your head. And people are saying they love it. And I have to say that on the day where I am intermittent fasting, I feel extremely energetic and I feel completely alert all day. So there's something there, and it's fun to play with.
And I think the big point about it is that everybody started playing with it and tried out for their bodies and then make your own judgment.
Absolutely.
Beforehand, and this is kind of what you were reverting to, is like beforehand it was like, oh no, you cannot miss a meal.
Right.
Terrible, you're gonna lose muscle right away. Boom, your arm falls off.
If you don't eat every 3 hours, you're not gonna have the building blocks for muscle.
Which, there's a part that is true, and then there's another part that's not true. So, and also you have to always kind of make sure everything is a compromise.
Yep.
What do you want to do right now? Do you want to work on your longevity? Fast. Get a little bit rid of all, the chemicals and stuff that, kind of hoarding up in you. If you want to build up, it's a different topic, right?
And it seems like when it comes down to it, a little bit of everything seems to be the right way to go about life,
medium,
right?
Yeah, the medium.
Moderation and variation
is key.
Is key.
Not necessarily your strength, but anyways.
More secrets next week. Thanks for listening. For a rest, Chelsea, Mike, what do you got? You got some more?
The cat is...
The cat is out of the bag and the secrets are out of the closet.
I like that.